Second day of continuous conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Here we can see remnants of Russian cruise missiles that were intercepted by Ukrainian anti-missile systems. These cruise missiles were fired by Russia to hit Ukrainian capital Kyiv. Majority of missiles that were fired did strike, but few were intercepted. Citizens of Russia are protesting, asking President Putin to stop these actions, but he has other plans apparently.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции. Кто бы ни пытался помешать нам, а тем более создать угрозы для нашей страны, для нашего народа, должны знать, что ответ России будет незамедлительным и приведет вас к таким последствиям, с которыми вы в своей истории еще никогда не сталкивались. Уважаемые товарищи, ваши отцы, деды и прадеды не для того сражались с нацистами, защищая нашу общую родину, чтобы сегодняшние неонацисты захватили власть на Украине. Вы давали присягу на верность украинскому народу, а не антинародной хунте, которая грабит Украину и издевается над этим самым народом. Не исполняйте ее преступных приказов. Призываю вас немедленно сложить оружие и идти домой.
Good morning. Early this morning, Russian troops invaded Ukraine, a free and sovereign country. We condemn this barbaric attack and the cynical arguments to justify it. It is President Putin who is bringing war back to Europe. And in these dark hours, the European Union and its people stand by Ukraine and its people. Russia's target is not only Donbas. The target is not only Ukraine. The target is the stability in Europe and the whole of the international peace order. And we will hold President Putin accountable for that. Later today, we will present a package of massive and targeted sanctions to European leaders for approval. I call on Russia to immediately stop the violence and to withdraw its troops from Ukraine's territory. He should not underestimate the resolve and strength of our democracies.
Later, as Russia continued to push towards the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv, its troops and forces had to go through the exclusion zone, right near Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant. It turned out Russian forces continued to push and they apparently captured the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant on 24th February 2022. Some reports are also suggesting that there is an increase in radioactivity in regions of exclusion zone, which is happening perhaps because some radioactive matter was hit by Russian projectiles, scattering it on ground. There is a quite possibility that an ecological crisis, quite similar to that of 1986, can happen again. But reason will be different. Consequences will be different. We can see Ukrainian soldiers firing SPG-9, perhaps in an unguided way, using it like artillery. the region of Odessa, close to Black Sea, there is a small Ukrainian island called Snake Island, where soldiers of Ukraine started swearing on radio on a Russian warship. The warship later started shelling the small island, killing all 13 soldiers that were trying to protect it. We can see a footage coming by Ukrainian border guards. This is right coming through the CCTV cameras that were placed on Ukrainian and Russian border crossing area. We can see Russian tanks are going right through the barricades that were placed to stop them or at least slow them down. But here we can see BMP-2s, T-72B3s moving in a convoy right into Ukraine. Each of these BMP-3 APCs are carrying armed soldiers, ready to move out and fight. They're armed with autocannons, backed by tanks, and they don't seem to be stopping. We can see BTRs moving in, following the BMPs. The number of force is significant. Russia's not anymore going just for Donetsk or Luhansk. It's going for all of Ukraine. It is a seriously significant number of mobilization. We can see lots of armor moving in Ukraine. We can see lots of attack helicopters moving into Ukraine, bombers, fighter aircrafts, cruise missiles, warships in Black Sea. From all directions, Ukraine is being striked. Here we can see footage coming outside of Kyiv, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. It's under panic. Burning documents that were top secret as Russia is pushing to Kyiv just on the second day of offensive. Constant explosions, missile strikes, airstrikes, shelling. Troops moving on ground, paratroopers, paratrooping from air, advancing infantry, backed by tanks. The Russian military force seems to be unstoppable at the moment. Sanctions are not helping, words are not helping. There is nothing which is just seizing or at least slowing down the Russian offensive. We can see tanks and BTRs close to Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant, as the whole exclusion zone is under Russian control now. Russia is also stating multiple Ukrainian soldiers and entire divisions that were fighting, trying to stop them, have surrendered. They have given up their arms, they have given up their uniforms and all of their weapons. They will be prisoner of war now. Their fate is in hands of Russia. We can see Ukrainian armored personnel carriers that were just given up by the soldiers who surrendered to the Russian forces. They gave up their uniforms, they gave up their weapons in hopes just not to die. There is a lot more to come in coming days. Will there be no Ukraine now? Will Russia annex the entire country, just how it did with Crimea